Do you ever have one of those moments with technology where you just follow its advice, thinking it's helping, and it ends up leading you completely off a cliff? Yeah, it's this unique modern kind of frustration, right? When the very tool that's supposed to make your life easier just creates a massive headache. So let's dive into a story that just perfectly captures this whole problem. Okay, picture this. You're standing at the DMV counter, you've got all your paperwork, you've waited in line, you feel like you're finally at the finish line, and then you hear those words. That sentence is basically the sound of your entire afternoon just evaporating. And it's all the start of a story about how an AI, in an attempt to be helpful, ended up being confidently totally wrong. So here's the setup. All that was needed was an official address for a bank, the lien holder, which is really just the lender who still technically owns a piece of the car. It was for a simple transfer form. A quick search on a phone. That seems like the most obvious, easiest solution in the world. I mean, that's what these AI-powered search results are for, right? To give us fast, reliable answers. And here's the really wild part, how convincing the AI's answer was. It wasn't just some jumbled mess. No, it gave this perfectly formatted P.O. box, had the right city, the right state. It looked so legitimate, so official, that you just wouldn't even think to question it. So, naturally, it gets copied right onto the official form. And this, right here, this is the real-world cost of a tiny digital error. That believable but completely fake address led to the application getting flat-out rejected. What came next was, you guessed it, a super frustrating call to the bank, a long, long wait on hold, and then that sinking feeling when you realize the whole trip to the DMV was a complete waste of time. Now, this story isn't just some random one-off incident. It's actually a perfect window into a much, much bigger problem with the AI we use every day, a phenomenon that has a name. It's called a contextual hallucination. This is the technical term for when an AI, like the one in that search engine, basically just makes something up. The information it gives you seems totally plausible, right? It fits the context of what you asked, but it's just not based on any real facts. It's a believable lie. And this is the crucial point. Look, a wasted trip to the DMV is super annoying, for sure. But just imagine this exact same problem happening in more critical areas. A made-up business rule in a complex supply chain, a misreported number in a financial statement, or, and this is a scary one, an incorrect medical dosage. These believable lies don't just cause delays. They can lead to really serious errors and, over time, just completely destroy our trust in the systems we're supposed to rely on. So this brings us to the big question. Why? Why does this even happen? Why would an AI that's literally designed to give you information just invent it? Let's get into the reasons why these systems can be so confidently wrong. Well, there are pretty much three main culprits here. First is what's called a lack of grounding. Basically, if the AI can't find a verified fact in its data, its programming kind of pushes it to generate a plausible-sounding answer instead of just saying, hey, I don't know. Second, you can think of an AI as having a creativity dial. If you turn that dial up too high, the AI is way more likely to guess or make stuff up, instead of just sticking to the facts. And finally, a lot of these systems just don't have a simple verification loop. There's no step where it double-checks its own work before it shows you the answer. And here's that exact problem in the wild. An AI was asked for the address of Fifth Third Bank, and this is the answer it gave. I mean, look at it. It looks totally real. The P.O. box number, the city, the zip code, it all fits the pattern perfectly. But guess what? That location is completely non-existent. It's a perfect digital mirage. Okay, so if the problem is that AI is just inventing answers out of thin air, how do we fix it? How do we actually get it to stop making things up? Well, the good news is engineers have come up with some pretty clever strategies to make these systems a lot more factual and reliable. Let's take a look at how we can tackle this and build a more trustworthy AI. All right, the first and honestly maybe the most important strategy is called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. The absolute best way to think about RAG is this. Instead of asking the AI to answer a question from memory, you first give it a cheat sheet with all the correct information. It's kind of like giving it an open book test. It doesn't have to guess because it can just find the right answer on the page you just handed it. This slide just gives us a perfect side-by-side. So on the left, you see the naive prompt. That's just asking the question directly. And boom, it leads the AI to invent the wrong address. But now look at the right with the grounded prompt. Here, the system first retrieves the correct address from a source it trusts. Then it gives that context to the AI and asks the question. And the result? The AI gives the correct, fact-based answer. Problem solved. So another really powerful technique is to build a fact-checking step right into the AI's process. It's called a generate verify loop, and it's based on a really simple common sense idea. Before you give someone an answer, you should probably double-check your work first. So here's how it works. In step 1, the AI generates its first answer, which, might be that hallucinated address we saw. But then comes step 2, and this is the crucial part. The system takes that answer and asks the AI a second question. Hey, does the answer you just gave me match this trusted information I have right here? Then in step 3, the AI compares the two and is basically forced to admit, nope, my first answer was wrong. This whole loop catches the mistake before it ever gets to you. So beyond those two big ones, there are other important fixes. Remember that creativity dial I mentioned? Well, that's technically known as the temperature setting. For tasks that need to be factual, you can just turn it way down, like almost to 0. This makes the AI choose the most boring, probable words instead of more creative, risky ones. And for those really high-stakes situations, sometimes the best solution is still the old-fashioned one, a human in the loop, a real person who reviews and signs off on the AI's output. So, as we kind of pull back from all these cool technical fixes, you start to see that this isn't just about writing better code. It's about something much more fundamental, something that goes to the heart of our relationship with technology. And ultimately, this brings us right to the core takeaway here. Getting rid of these believable lies isn't just about solving a technical bug. It's a fundamental challenge of product integrity. The end goal here isn't just to build an AI that's smarter or faster. The real goal is to build an AI that we can actually trust, one that's genuinely reliable when we need it the most. And that kind of leaves us with this final big question to think about. We know AI can be brilliant. It can perform these incredible feats of intelligence and creativity. But as we weave it more and more deeply into our lives, the real challenge is going to be this. Can we actually teach it to be honest?